going on, everybody? Welcome to The Obsession. I'm Carl Bethke.
I'm Mike Stadler.
Mike, we got a pretty cool question here. You and I actually have shot a lot of deer this way. Well, a few of our bigger bucks this way. The question comes from Brad. It says, do you guys think that bucks return year after year and at the same time? And if they do they come to the same area on your properties?
Yep. All right, so no.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some deer do.
Yeah, I think they visit the same areas a lot.
Yes.
Because if I personally feel if a deer travels to a certain area enough, they feel safe there.
Yeah.
Without being, interrupted by anything, especially human contact.
Yeah.
Scents are always the same. So, which is I think a lot of people don't realize is they're familiar with an area. So when you're intruding it, you might not see that deer even though they were there.
Oh yeah.
Because they know now that something is off because they're there a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they come back and they check a lot of the same spots.
Yeah. And that's our goal, to make sure that they have the same atmosphere. So, like
every
your
time.
bedding area.
Yeah, every time.
We never go. Yeah, never go in there. All that stuff. A couple of basically each property has a majority of it is actually what most people would call sanctuary, I guess.
Right.
We come in and out of it. Yeah, bucks do come back, like you said, if they're content, for sure. And a lot of them been really, at least in the past, a lot of them have been pretty predictable, especially when I was hunting the kill corridor. Old One Step, he was there every year for quite a few years. The buck I shot, Brawler, he was predictable too. A lot of these deer
travel the same path all the time.
Yeah, they all come back, and they come back at the same time. You could set your calendar by coming on the property. It was either October 20th, 21st, or 22nd. He was gone every year by Halloween. He spent a week, 10 days on my property. That was the window I had to kill him. So that's and that was for 8 years before I put an arrow in him. So that's important. Also, you did it with Johnny was repetitive too, wasn't he?
Yeah, Johnny. I think I hunted him for 2 years. I watched him for 3. I never had a shot at him. I only had one shot at him ever.
Right.
And that was the year I killed him.
Yep.
And we thought he was, I don't know, 4.5, 5.5. I don't know.
Yeah, he was just a giant deer.
And he traveled the same all the time, and I could never connect with him.
Right.
He just would elude me all the time because but he traveled the same path and about at the same times. But
observe it, and that's something an older deer would do.
Yeah, he came the one day that he came. He was scent checking, the marsh edge to the woods.
Yeah.
And I was there, and he hung up just before he got there, but enough that I got shot at.
Yeah, you killed him in the marsh.
So it's I think it happens. I had landlord here for 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
Never did kill him. Obviously, the neighbor killed him, but he was here every year.
Yeah. And
very elusive. Stayed in a corner.
Yeah. Yeah. That deer stayed in 8, 10 acres.
Yeah, I never had a picture of him on the east side of the property ever.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of cameras.
Yeah.
I'm gonna catch you going through there.
Yeah.
And he never came. And none of the neighbors on the other side ever seen him.
Right.
And even where they killed him, they never seen him.
Yeah, well, the only reason he died was because of that doe.
Because of the doe. So I know he was traveling north-south.
Yeah.
That's why he wasn't getting seen except by me.
And it was a narrow span.
Yeah.
It's what? Width-wise, 300 yards maybe?
Yeah, probably.
But north to south, probably miles, whatever.
And he's over in the marsh.
Yep.
So yeah, I 100% think they come back to the same spots.
Well, how do you go about hunting deer like that? That's the other thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the best.
Yeah. Well,
because they're coming back to your property, especially if you see them. Like we talk about, the early buck pictures.
Yeah.
If you got a deer that came back and you know him.
Yep.
You know that deer. Like, all right, he's back. So he's going to be back around again. So that's when I think the intel that you and I talk about, that we do all the time, really plays. Because have you been paying attention? Do you remember last year?
Yep.
You document things last year, like we do.
Mm-hmm.
We have the pictures saved. You have them cataloged. I have them cataloged on my phone.
Yep.
Dates, times, when those deer were coming through, where they were going. And it helps.
Big time.
And I'm not saying like, okay, I seen him here October 24th, I'm going to be in that stand, but he's on the property.
Yeah.
And he's been around this area the previous 2 years.
Yeah.
So, that's when you're playing your cards.
I'm pretty sure, the way I look at it is all that documentation and everything that we have with the years of experience with the animal, with the pictures, like you were saying, helps us not make that mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you make that mistake, both of us have small properties. You make that one mistake on that deer, he's done. You're done for the year. He's gone.
He's gone.
And a bigger deer, let's just say in Wisconsin, I'm going to say 3.5 and older, because at 3.5 here in Wisconsin, that's a highly pressured whitetail.
Yeah.
He knows things. And as soon as he has to deal with hunters or anything like that, he will leave and find someplace else.
Yeah.
So I think that helps you not make the mistakes. If you're documenting or doing exactly what Mike said we do, our documentation of our pictures, we actually write stuff down in logs that such and such wind direction. We actually have hours documented. We actually made spreadsheets that we use.
Yeah, if we're here or there,
right?
Whatever, any the forecast pressures we document.
Yep.
Everything. The biggest thing is I think that helps us is we don't push it.
No.
So like if that deer is there and he's coming back, let him, and he's there every day.
Yep.
And he's getting comfortable.
Yep.
Like, I'm not going to bomb down into the bottom of my property and I'm going to kill this deer today because he's there every day. Unless I think something is right.
Right.
That he could be on his feet and he's going to give me a chance. Otherwise, I know that I'm taking a huge risk going in there at that time.
Yeah.
So if I got a huge front coming, that's going to get him on his feet early, and I know he's been in that plot 5 of the last 7 days.
Yeah.
Probably going to take a shot at it.
Well, that's how you killed Burback.
Yeah. Going to take a shot at it.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'll wait.
Yeah, you didn't even go into that area.
No, I didn't go in.
We had that big cold front coming.
Yep.
I mean, just tell them how you did it.
Yeah, he had been on camera, I think, 4 days straight.
Yep.
In the bottom, and that was early October,
yep.
Real early, and I don't go down there until usually the 20th or after.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a huge front come in.
Yep.
And I had called you. I think I was just on the phone with you before that. I'm like, I'm going in down there after him. I mean, he's been in there every day.
Yep.
And I was like, kill him. So I went down there, and that front was rolling in, and the bucks piled out into that field.
Yeah.
And he was with them, and I shot him, and he went 30 yards and fell over.
Yep.
And then it poured.
It
absolutely poured, but that because he gave it a chance.
Right.
So I went and took him, and you got to play your odds there too.
Yeah.
But the conditions were right for me to be down there. That's why I went, because I knew I could get in and out and be okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
without the documentation of knowing.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah.
But I watched my cameras, and yes, I have cell cams, so I can see what he's doing every day. And I know what the weather is, so I see what the weather is. I see when he's on his feet. I see where he's entering.
Yep.
He's entering the same spot every night. And actually, what was funny was the night I killed him, he entered from the opposite side of the plot.
Yeah.
Was the only time he did it.
Yeah, but that made sense with the wind.
Yeah, but the wind shifted in there, and I'm in the middle.
Right.
So he's not going to get me either way.
Right.
Yeah,
he was going to lose if he showed up.
He was losing if he came in, and that's so your intel is big, and the must be nice thing.
He's right over here.
He's back there. You can't see him on the camera. The must be nice thing is it's a ton of work.
Yeah.
And I get back from hunting, and if I'm here and I come in and I fill my sheet out, it's
that's the first thing I do.
It's part of my job.
Yep.
And that helps me sending Carl into a stand here.
Yeah.
Or sending, if one of my other friends comes over here and hunts,
yeah.
into a stand, because I'm going to put them in a position where I think they're going to kill a deer.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm not going to have them here.
Yeah, there's no sense in that.
So I'm like, I've seen this deer. He's been doing this a lot. I think this stand's going to be good today.
Yep.
That's where Carl's going to go.
Right.
He does the same thing at his property. It's not like we're trying to be like, well, shit, I seen that great big 10-point over there. I don't want to send Mike over there.
Yep.
You know,
I
if
want-
you're doing that,
Yeah.
you're never going to be successful with
No.
anybody.
No, and that's the wrong thing to do all the way around anyway. But you know, like the documentation part of things, you guys, is really, really important. We can show you guys our sheets a little bit later, but we document how many hours we're in the tree, mornings, evenings. We actually have kind of documented moon phase, even though we're not big advocates of moon phase
I
stuff.
think we do it for the opposite reason.
We do.
We're not getting into that right now.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that part of it. But most important part is the documentation helps you kill deer in the future years.
Yeah.
You know, if I see, I don't know, let's just say I see bow grabber, what was it, last year, where I was seeing him in the early October down in the bottom. And all of a sudden, I get a few pictures this year of him down the bottom. I know he's going to spend that week, late October, in that bottom checking out does. So no matter what area we are in, whether it's him or me, he's going to be hunting that particular deer in a certain spot, which we both know where that is.
Yeah.
And one of us is going to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So, or gladiator, either one.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that we try to do is we, put the odds in your favor.
Yeah.
So, and we do it at Carl's, we do it here. If we can get around this deer with a couple of guys and have a shot at him, we're gonna try to take him out.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which one of us shoots it.
That's what we're trying to do. So, I mean, the biggest thing, get one down and then work on the next one.
Yep.
But that intel is huge. We do it all west.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say we write things down because it's a shorter burst of time.
Yeah.
It's a week span, and we just know we've been together and done it so much. We're like, all right, we're going here. We need to go up over that ridge. We've been on the property a lot. We know it.
It's that way in North Dakota for sure. And we're talking miles of property. So if we see a deer in such and such, let's just say we'll call it the hellhole, and he's moving straight to the west, we know where he's going to cross. After 26 years of hunting out there together, we can book about 2.5, 3 miles around and cut that deer off within 30 minutes, and he'll come right through that same spot. Pond man, come to our spot.
Our spot. Yes, I mean, it takes a lot to know that, and that's a little different. Obviously, it's out west, but, whitetails, if you study them, you can predict some of what they're going to do.
Yeah.
We are not experts at all,
No.
but the stuff we do works for us. We got really heavy into the documentation again the last several years. We did it a lot earlier, and then we kind of weren't doing it as much. And then we got back into doing it again more, especially with the properties.
Yeah.
So that we can see what's going on both.
Yeah, and we both have benefited from all the documentation that
Yes.
we've taken. So we appreciate the question. Thanks for the question. If you guys get a chance, you want to check out the podcast, you can check it out at iHeart, Spotify, Google,
Apple Podcasts.
Amazon.
Check us out on YouTube.
See our pretty faces.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Get a chance to subscribe. Just hit the Reaper in the lower right-hand corner. We'd appreciate that. Share and like. Have a good day.